Hey, what's up, everybody? This is going to be my chapter 12 reflection, and it's over social institutions. So, like, the main ones the video talked about was like family, government, schools, and religion. And uh, an interesting thing I read in the book about um, like how these institutions have changed over the years from the past. Um, I read about like how family dinners have become almost not non-existent, but like they rarely happen. It's more likely for you to like go and eat dinner in your room rather than have a sit-down family meal. And um, in my discussion, I talked about how this is a real thing in my family. We tend to be a busy family um, throughout the week, and we usually don't have time to sit down and have a nice family meal and have good conversation. We usually either make our own stuff or eat leftovers, or there's takeout, or sometimes we'll cook something, but even when we do cook something, it's grab it and take it into the living room, take it to your room. But I do have a buddy who his family I don't think has missed a sit down meal in like 15 years. I remember going over to his house all the time, and every time I was over there, we'd eat dinner, sit down, pray, and just have good conversation amongst one another. And it actually was very, very, I don't know how to explain it, but it was a great time when I was over there. And sometimes I wish my family did that, but also I think I'm accustomed to what we do, and it's either we have a sit down dinner or we don't. It depends on if everyone's home, if we got time to do it. It all just depends on outside things, and it's hard to pinpoint when we are going to be able to have that. Usually, it's on like a Sunday night or um, probably like a Saturday night when we're all as free as we're gonna be. But yeah, my buddy, they sit down all the time, and I talked to him the other day, and just because I saw this, and I asked him, "Hey, does your family still sit down all the time?" And he just finished up school, and he moved back in because he was at Avila studying, and he moved back in, and he's trying to find a job, and it was back to the same routine. Like he never missed a beat. And I think for some families, it will always stay consistent, and for some, it will change. People will move out, and maybe they do have dinner at the table, or maybe everyone just grabs their dinner and eats it in the living room. But another interesting thing I wanted to talk about in this chapter was tech and sports. And I can talk about sports all day long with anyone. I'd sit there and I enjoy it. It it is a very popular topic for me because that's really what I like to talk about. But technology in sports has come a long way. Like you see a lot of videos from like back in the past, and like what they had and what they could see and what they couldn't see. Like even in the '80s, people couldn't just pull out their cellular device and say, "Hey, I want to watch this Spurs Celtics game tonight," and then after that, I got the Royals and Rays on. Like people couldn't do that, and like streaming technology has come a long way, especially in sports and streaming live events. Also even like technology for stats. Like in basketball, there's programs where like we use a program called Synergy at Bethel where we send our game film, and they basically stat the whole thing. They stat deflections, steals, assists, points, rebounds, all of that stuff. And essentially, years ago, coaches would have to go in individually and watch the game film and stat it all themselves. If the book to make, they have a book person at the place, but or at the game that does that, but really I don't think they catch everything, and they go back in and make sure, and they stat other stuff like deflections and stuff like that. And I think it's really helped the game grow, and people like head coaches can focus more on coaching rather than breaking down game film and stuff like that, and worrying about stats and stuff when a whole nother company can basically do it for you. Um, Another thing, like technology in sports, recently there's been, I think it was a couple years back, the NFL started putting Wi-Fi in all stadiums so fans can get the most out of their experience, which I don't know why they need Wi-Fi because the game is right in front of them. Uh, but it really is a good thing. You can get on the Wi-Fi. You can buy merchandise from there. I think you can even order drinks now, as in one of the videos that was on our chapter list. But yeah, technology in sports, as I said a couple weeks ago or last week, that I mean, even in like official reviews, technology is used, and the camera angles are just crazy what they can see now just to get the right call. And I mean, if technology wasn't around, a lot of games would be blown because of referees' calls. And I think it's just super beneficial for the players, the fans, the refs. Uh, it's just beneficial for the game, and it'll continue to grow. I just hope one day there's not like robot referees running around. Another thing I want to talk about is the science and religion thing. Now, in the video, I didn't agree with a lot of what the guy said, but I I tend to think like when I think of science and religion, I think of okay, science is like human evolution. Like, did we evolve from apes? Is that what we did? And then thinking about religion, like, is there a God? Is God up there? Is he gonna take us in when we die? I mean, I think about a lot of that stuff, and I wouldn't say I'm sitting on the middle, but I think I believe in a lot of stuff on both sides. Like, science is a lot of factual stuff. Most of it is factual, unless you get someone that's just trying to say some stuff. But most science is factual, and uh, you shouldn't believe anything else because that's what it is. And but like with God, I mean, there's no actual scientific fact that He is real. You hear about the stories of people talking about how they died and then they went to heaven and then God sent them back. Like, I'm not saying I don't believe in that because I believe in God. I do. I'm a Christian, but it I won't believe until it actually happens. So like when I die, and if there is a God and I go to heaven and see the pearly gates, which I hope I do, then I mean, I wish there was a way I could tell people on earth like, yeah, it's super real, but there's obviously you can't do that when you're dead. But if there was scientific evidence of it, I mean, it would make a whole lot more sense for people, and you could make a whole lot more people believers, which, I mean, I always want to make believers because I'm a believer, but I mean, I also believe in other things, and I think everyone has their own opinion to that. That's it. Thank you.